how long can you survive? The average American cannot survive more than a month. So a lot of Americans make a lot of money, but they have no time on their money. They cannot survive. If you lost your job, let's say you're married, husband and wife and all this stuff, you know, and you lost your income, how long would you survive? And that's wealth. And for most people, it's the next paycheck. They're gone. So they might make a lot of money, but they won't survive, so that they have money, but they're not wealthy. Wealth is measured in time. Rich is measured in money.
We're in serious trouble. I wrote this in 2020. It's Who Stole My Pension? America is bankrupt. We're the biggest debtor nation in the world. The only nation more in debt than us is Japan. Japanese save this. Per capita, Japanese save the most money. So the Japanese save all that little yen, and they buy dollars, and guys like me borrow their money, and we invest all over the world. Japanese are savers. That's why Japan's in trouble.
Education is very important. Now, what I'm saying is, what does school teach you about money? You know, I grew up in a family of PhDs, so they're highly educated poor people. PhD stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. And that's why I talk about my father running for lieutenant governor, and he lost. He ran against the governor. The governor fired him and said, "You'll never work in this state again." So I'm in college at the time, at the academy, and my poor dad is now broke. PhD didn't help him. And so I ask everybody this question is, again, what did school teach you about money? Answer is nothing. You got to choose your teacher. When I was in Sunday school, I was like 8 or 9 years old, and the Sunday school was a young teacher, this is in Hawaii, and she said, "Why were the 3 wise men wise?" And I said, I raised my hand, you know, it's about 8 or 9 years old. I said, "Because they were rich." And she goes, "Why do you say that?" You know, because in church, what love of money is the root of all evil. And she goes, "Why?" She said, "They had gold, frankincense, and myrrh. You got to be rich to have that stuff." And she shakes her head because this violates every one of her Christian values about the love of money is the root of all evil, right? She says, "No, that's why they weren't wise." I said, "So tell me why." It's one of the most valuable lessons my little Sunday school teacher taught me. She says, "Because they always sought the best teacher." In real life, seek your teachers. If you listen to a school teacher about money, I'll pray for you tonight.
There's an old Irish proverb that goes, "If I knew where I was going to die, I wouldn't go there." I always died in school. My spirit died. Every time when I talk to these Marxists, you know, don't make mistakes, don't do this, memorize this answer.
Yeah.
I said, I don't want this. Money is a process. It's like baking bread. You get any bake bread, you make money. But they don't teach you that at school. The biggest criminals in the world are school teachers. I really don't like school. I fight with them all the time. 39 professors attacked me because I was talking about capitalism. See, most school teachers are Marxists. They're communists. And I kept asking my teachers, when am I going to learn about money? And they gave me this bullshit. The love of money is the root of all evil. Stop bullshitting me, you son of a bitch. But that was their way of preventing me from getting rich, by telling me if I wanted to get rich, I wasn't going to go to heaven. And so I kept asking my poor dad, I said, "Well, how do I learn about money?" He says, "I don't know," because he's a professor. And you know, professors are poor people, but they teach kids. So he says, "Why don't you ask your best friend's father?" "Why should I ask Mike, father? He's going to be a rich man." And I said, "Why is he going to be a rich man?" My poor dad said, "Mike's father is an entrepreneur." And I said, "So what are you?" I'm only 10 years old, right? He says, "I'm an employee." I said, "So what's the difference between entrepreneur and employee?" And my poor dad said, "Well, an entrepreneur has to know about money. And what about an employee like you?" He says, "I have a job." And then I started to hear it. Go to school, get a job. So let's say you have a man. He becomes an entrepreneur. He makes a lot of money. The second generation, he teaches it to his kids. So the second generation, they enjoy the money. The money's gone by the third generation. It disappears.
Is that
because
like
they don't pass on knowledge. They pass on money. I meet so many people today, I can tell they're either second or third generation. They're really pretty, they got their Gucci clothes on, got the cars and all this. Second generation, but nothing up here. Too easy.
You see, the more debt I use, the more property I own, the less tax I pay. And if you think paying taxes is legal, tax is a Marxist idea. What Marx says is that a progressive and oppressive income tax is essential for the spread of communism. That was in 1848. This is what pisses me off about academic types. The facts are America was founded as a tax-free nation. It was called the Boston Tea Party. I think it was 1773. And we were tax-free for all of these years until 1913 when the Fed was created, Amendment 16. And ever since then, we're paying taxes. But the harder you work, the more money you make, the higher taxes you pay. If that's not communism, what is? And so then these communist school teachers tell you to get out of debt, like what's his name, Dave Ramsey and all that, live debt-free. And that's good advice for the average person because debt will kill you. But debt is money today. And the reason I talk about debt is because in 1971, when I was in Vietnam, Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. Right. They don't tell you that, you know, and the money became debt.
This here is fake money. I would never work for this stuff. It's good as toilet paper. You can't be stupid about money today. So many people working for this fake stuff, but they don't know because our school systems won't tell us. Taxes are incentives. In other words, if I went down to a church, the government wants me to donate money to a church. So if I donate this to a church, it's a tax write-off. So taxes are incentives to do what the government wants you to do. So the people that pay the highest taxes are employees and doctors and lawyers. The capitalists don't pay taxes. Number one, the rich don't work for money. Rich work to acquire assets. Number two, savers are losers. Look at how much inflation and taxes are killing this thing. And number three, your house is not an asset. So your job as a capitalist is to turn a liability, a house, into an asset. What's happening in America today, I'm sure here, as tens of thousands of people are laid off, what's killing them is their house. They can't afford the mortgage. So instead of the house being an asset, the house is a liability. My cars are liabilities. If Uber rented them, it'd be an asset if it covered all expenses. It's really defined in the numbers. So for most people, they buy a house, it costs them money. So I paid cash for it. They'll have taxes and still have upkeep. It's a liability. So my wife says, you can have anything you want, but you first got to buy the asset that pays for the Rolls Royce. So I went out, found an apartment house, and bought the Rolls Royce. I do what I have to do. That's enough. How many people cannot do what they say they're going to do? Yeah, I meet some people, oh, someday I'll be a millionaire. They never make it. I watch what they do, not what they say.
Okay.
This is cheap. I'm a rich man, You know, YouTube, full of fake people, right? Full of fakes. I watch YouTube, it's, oh, I make $1 million, I'm a millionaire. All lies. That's out of integrity. Integrity means you and your word are the same. One. Because, oh.